I have not seen a case so open and shut in my life. And the more that I read and the more details that I get into, I'm just shocked at how many lies were told, okay?
Players in one of the ugliest Hollywood disputes in recent memory faced off in a New York City courtroom today.
I believe that they are going to be able to prove in court that this was personal. Ryan Reynolds versus Justin Baldoni, all of the evidence points to that.
As we releasing more documents and text messages?
I assume.
Baldoni is going on the offensive. He just launched a website containing 168 pages of documents and texts.
We're going to move as quickly as we possibly can and prove our innocence, where sometimes people judge you before they give you a chance.
Baldoni is stepping into the spotlight with an aggressive move, launching a website packed with 168 pages of documents and text to support his side of the story. His lawyer, Justin Baldoni, emerged from the courthouse after a critical hearing, where a gag order Blake Lively's legal team had sought was denied. This legal battle, which many had anticipated to be a routine matter, has now taken a dramatic and unexpected turn, escalating tensions between the two parties. What began as a seemingly straightforward dispute has quickly morphed into a complex legal showdown. Observers were taken aback when the gag order, expected to pass without much opposition, was promptly denied. This abrupt development heightened the stakes and raised eyebrows, especially as it became clear that Blake Lively's legal team may have come prepared with an entirely different approach. Rather than maintaining a defensive posture, it appeared that they were ready to go on the offensive. The drama intensified when Lively's team revealed they had set a deadline of Valentine's Day for filing a counterattack, though the exact nature of this legal maneuver remained a mystery. The mere mention of an upcoming action sent shockwaves through both legal circles and the public, leading to widespread speculation. Rumors swirled, each more sensational than the last, as reporters sought to uncover more details. Some insiders whispered that powerful allies were applying pressure behind the scenes, while others suggested that Lively's legal team was quietly gathering sworn testimonies from individuals who had yet to be officially named in the case. The secrecy surrounding these developments only fueled the intrigue further. Meanwhile, Justin's attorney, Brian Fredman, made a brief statement to the media, insisting that his client's innocence would be proven in due time. He remained composed and confident despite the chaotic atmosphere. However, as the case unfolded, it became increasingly evident that both sides were more concerned with controlling public perception than with finding a resolution. This strategy, centered on shaping the narrative in the media, left many wondering if it would ultimately help or harm either party. By the time the hearing came to a close, one thing was abundantly clear. This legal battle was only just beginning, and its impact could ripple far beyond the walls of the courthouse. Speculation was rampant about just how far-reaching this dispute might become and who else might get caught in its wake. With each passing day, the situation grew more complicated, and the public's interest only intensified. The most explosive part of this early chapter, however, was the revelation of certain harsh remarks that seemed to be aimed at individuals once considered trusted allies. A specific incident involving a conversation about script revisions escalated into finger-pointing and accusations of behind-the-scenes sabotage. The individuals involved had previously presented themselves as a united front, but these newly surfaced documents suggested that cracks in their relationship might have existed long before this legal dispute came to light. Observers were left questioning whether Justin Baldoni was genuinely attempting to clear his name or if this was a calculated effort to smear other key players in the case. Regardless of the motivation, this development forced those following the story to reconsider how much of Hollywood's polished, public-facing image was an illusion. Was it all just strategic performance? Adding another layer of intrigue, the website Baldoni launched included a cryptic message in its footer, hinting at more uploads to come, potentially even more damaging documents or revelations. This note signaled that the case was far from over and that new information might emerge in the coming weeks, keeping the public on edge and adding to the sense of a high-stakes chess match being played out in real time. Yet, for all the drama surrounding this legal battle, perhaps the biggest shock came with the news of Ryan Reynolds' dramatic change of heart. Reynolds had previously been seen as a close friend and collaborator of Justin Baldoni, with the two men often photographed together at charity events, fundraisers, and behind-the-scenes gatherings. They exchanged warm words in interviews, and at one point, Reynolds publicly praised Baldoni, calling him a wonderful collaborator who dedicated himself to every project. Their camaraderie appeared genuine, and their mutual admiration seemed unquestionable. However, that facade of friendship shattered when private messages, dated just a few months after those glowing public statements, surfaced. In these messages, Reynolds reportedly referred to Baldoni as a deranged predator, a shocking label that left fans reeling. The sudden and extreme reversal led to a flurry of questions. What had changed? Had Reynolds discovered something new that altered his opinion? Or was he pressured to shift his stance for other reasons? Theories ranged from personal creative disputes to more serious accusations that overshadowed the final phases of their work together. Some conspiracy theorists even speculated that these reversals were orchestrated by a rival camp intent on driving a wedge between high-profile figures like Reynolds and Baldoni. In the midst of this swirling legal storm, Blake Lively emerged as someone fiercely protective, not only of her image but also of her closest friends. Of particular note was her close relationship with pop star Taylor Swift. Reports began circulating that Lively was seeking a special protective order designed to prevent the legal discovery process from dragging third parties like Swift into the conflict. This move suggested that the case had the potential to ensnare other high-profile figures who might have communicated sensitive information, either through texts or emails, at some point. As soon as Taylor Swift's name entered the conversation, public interest in the case soared to new heights. Fans and celebrity watchers were eager to know if Swift had somehow become entangled in the drama without even realizing it. Although the specifics of her involvement remained unclear, what was evident was that Blake Lively was willing to fight tooth and nail in court to protect herself and those within her inner circle from unwanted scrutiny. The intensity of the dispute led many to wonder whether this protective measure would be sufficient to shield third parties from the legal crossfire, or if it would merely signal a readiness to escalate the conflict further. For those following the revelations day by day, the situation began to feel like a fuse had been lit, with the spark inching ever closer to a powder keg. Every new piece of information seemed to bring the story closer to an explosive climax. In another twist, attention turned to the role of an intimacy coordinator on set. Though this role typically serves as a behind-the-scenes safeguard, ensuring the comfort of actors during sensitive scenes, it now became a focal point for additional speculation. Presence of an intimacy coordinator often signals heightened caution on set, but rumors suggested that the role had become a source of tension, particularly when it came to disagreements over creative direction, personal boundaries, and who should be held accountable when things went wrong. In this case, the coordinator had reportedly organized a crucial meeting to discuss potential issues and ensure that everyone felt comfortable. Many cast members attended the meeting, eager to contribute to the conversation. However, Blake Lively was conspicuously absent. Some dismissed her absence as a mere scheduling conflict, while others saw it as evidence of deeper, unspoken tensions. This absence fueled more theories, including the possibility that underlying issues, perhaps involving awkward encounters or simmering resentments, played a pivotal role in the broader controversy. Critics of the production pointed to these hushed moments as proof that larger scandals might be lurking beneath the polished surface of Hollywood's public relations machine. Meanwhile, Blake's defenders argued that she was already experienced enough with on-set protocols and didn't need to attend a refresher meeting. Regardless of the reasons behind her absence, the conversation soon evolved into a much larger saga that involved not just the stars, but also the lesser-known crew members who were now being questioned about every detail, from the wording of their non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, to the duration of private meetings. Testimonies of various cast and crew members only added to the intrigue. Many had previously rallied around Justin Baldoni, publicly describing him as warm and collaborative. Brandon Senar, who worked closely with Baldoni, had once described the atmosphere on set as harmonious, with no visible tension. He had praised the cast's morale, painting a picture of a supportive, positive work environment. Yet, these accounts clashed with the damning allegations found in the leaked text messages, where the same people who had praised Baldoni publicly expressed concerns or even outright distrust in private. Some claimed they felt pressured to maintain a positive image in the media, fearing repercussions if they didn't toe the line. This stark contrast between public and private sentiments forced observers to confront the possibility that many in Hollywood navigated dual narratives, a carefully constructed public persona and a much more vulnerable, raw reality behind closed doors. Blake Lively, too, had received her share of praise for her welcoming presence on set. Crew members recalled moments when she brought small gifts or organized casual gatherings to boost morale. However, this warm image now stood in sharp contrast to the fierce legal battle she was spearheading. It seemed that Lively was ready to release documents that might put others in a negative light, further complicating her public persona. Fans were left wondering whether the compliments they had heard about her were genuine or merely obligatory platitudes, given the pressures of the Hollywood machine. As more details emerged, it became evident that this situation was far from black and white. Relationships that once seemed solid were now strained, with former friends and collaborators communicating only through their attorneys. Each new revelation added another layer of complexity to the story, which now extended far beyond typical celebrity gossip. It revealed a high-stakes environment where reputations and relationships could be destroyed by a single leaked document or text message. The potential involvement of Taylor Swift, as well as Lively's request for a protective order for third parties, emphasized that even the most famous figures weren't immune from being drawn into the conflict. As the Valentine's Day deadline approached, speculation mounted about what new information might come to light. Could more explosive texts, insider accounts, or even undisclosed footage surface? And if so, how would that reshape public perception of the actors and producers at the center of this storm? The larger concern, however, revolved around the long-term consequences for the high-profile stars involved. Typically, individuals like Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively wield enough influence to weather most scandals with a well-executed public relations strategy. However, in this case, it felt as though even they might be vulnerable to lasting reputational damage. Studios might hesitate to hire stars embroiled in such a public legal spectacle, and fan loyalty could waver depending on how inflammatory the final revelations turned out to be. Throughout all of this, Justin Baldoni's stance remained clear. His detailed website and the extensive documentation suggested that he believed he had the truth on his side. On the other hand, Ryan Reynolds' sudden shift from praising Baldoni to condemning him indicated that significant tensions had been brewing for some time. Blake Lively, for her part, demonstrated that she was not afraid to fight to protect herself, her friends, and possibly her brand, even if it meant dropping legal bombshells right in the middle of a highly publicized conflict. Amid all the twists and turns, one thing remained clear. Hollywood, with all its glamour, was also rife with secrets, shifting alliances, and hidden conflicts. Relationships that had once appeared strong could unravel in an instant, exposing a much darker reality beneath the glossy exterior. As the legal battle continued to unfold, it became increasingly apparent that this case could have long-lasting effects not just on the individuals involved, but on the entire industry. Countdown to Valentine's Day was ticking, and with it, the possibility of even more explosive revelations loomed. Fans, critics, and casual observers alike waited with bated breath, knowing that the next chapter in this saga could turn everything they thought they knew upside down.